or some comment, some advice, or some criticism? Oh, yes?
What is your favorite sport? Which is your favorite sport?
Which is your favorite sport?
I think almost zero. When I was young, in China, 1954, 55, I started play ping pong. I know something. And I think I must say, one occasion I played with Zhou Enlai, Chinese Prime Minister. Zhou Enlai. I played with him. His right hand is a little sort of problem. So he cannot play right hand in like this way. So I have some sort of hope to defeat him, to beat him, because his hand not very good. So once I play with him, that like that. Then after I came India, the old place there, Sawashram, there, Sawashram, is the one. It was a playground, small. So I play, what's it, badminton, sorry. Just to play without knowing the rule. So that's all. So otherwise, of course, I enjoy. You see, when these famous people, football or cricket or these things, I enjoy. But my such ignorance, I often used to ask my friend or companions, who is winning, who is losing? I don't know, like that. So that's the situation. Now, next question. Yes.
Yes, Guruji, as you said, India is a second home, and you have spent 51 years here.
Yes.
In our country.
Yes.
Why not its first home?
Kasan.
First home. And the second home is responsible. First home,
Correct.
First home.
First home, this body, not born in India. You see, this body, born in northeast Tibet area, through centuries, many famous masters come that area. So sometimes we usually call Amdo. We come from Amdo. Kham, Amdo, and Uzang, the three provinces of Tibet. So my place from that northeast province. Nowadays Chinese call Qinghe province. So sometimes we, some scholars from that area, they sometimes see a little bit exaggeration. One I remember is one good scholar in early 60s. You see, he once told me the all Tibetan masters, because very clever in Amdo in the church.
So he used to say that. He used to say that if there was a Tibetan scholar, great scholar, it must be Amdo.
He wants to see state like that. That's of course exaggeration, not true. So in any way, that's my first home. Then I remained there till my age, as I mentioned earlier, 24. Like that.
Excuse me, the Buddhist religion teaches ignorance. What do you say about ignorance?
Ignorance?
Yes, it says craving and ignorance. Now, what do you say about ignorance?
Ignorance, there are many levels of ignorance. Now, example, my ignorance about these sports. That also ignorance. And I think, and also, you see, due to time, you see, we also have some ignorance whether tomorrow rain come or not. That also kind of ignorance. Many level, conventional level. So I think very purpose of education, I think several years, from kindergarten up to university, is supposed to eliminate ignorance, step by step. So in conventional level, you see, the knowledge, knowing the reality is very essential. Our approach, as I mentioned before, our approach should be realistic approach. Then you get the satisfactory result. Whether you follow a realistic approach or rather the unrealistic approach entirely depend on the knowledge. So here knowledge also, now here also I think I often is telling people, calm mind is very essential in order to know the reality. If your mind, because of the creeps away, you mentioned creeps are
Craving and aversion. Craving and aversion and ignorance.
Oh, cravings were attachment or anger, hatred. So once that emotion strongly developed and dominant your mind, under such circumstances, you can't see the reality. Even one of my sort of friend, one American scientist, one time I met in Stockholm, in Sweden. Then his age already 84. Now whether he alive or not, I don't know. You see, the expert about human mind, human emotion, and brain. So he mentioned to me, when people develop hatred or strong anger, then object appears very negative. So actually, 90% of that negativeness is mental projection. It's very true. So the emotion, destructive, particularly destructive emotion develop, then your mind already biased. You can't see the reality. So in order to know the reality, your mind must be, because of the unbiased, objectively look at the thing. For that, calm mind is very essential. So any event, you must look, in order to know the reality, we must look from different dimensions. One dimension, you can't see the reality. 4 dimensions or 6 dimensions. Then you can see the reality. With fuller knowledge about the reality, then approach. Then become realistic approach. And then another thing, this is a Buddhist concept, also related with Buddhist concept. The things are relative. I think that can apply to other religion also. I think, except God, all creatures are relative. God may be absolute from their theistic viewpoint. Of course, non-theistic religion like Buddhism, no idea of God, no idea of creator. Everything due to its own causes and conditions. So Buddha himself, originally just like us, sort of ordinary sentient being. Then eventually, you see, he, due to his own teacher or sort of with the help of other bodhisattvas or Buddhas, you see, eventually he purified his sort of ignorance, then become enlightened and become Buddha. So there's no creator. So according, I think, the monotheistic religion, I think you can say, oh, except God, all creatures are relative, interdependent, interconnectedness. So that view, very helpful to develop holistic. I think one example, when Iraq sort of crisis started, many people saw the Saddam Hussein is the absolute target. Is it? Once he is removed, then everything okay. But the reality, not like that. Many things interdependent. So once you see the certain action started targeting elimination of Saddam Hussein's power, then the reality much more complex. So it's complications remain. So like our health, even health, just as you take medicine or some physical exercise, not sufficient. We must, for good health, we must include the taking care of peace of mind. Some scientists even say to me, the strong hatred, fear, actually eating our immune system. Peace of mind, very helpful to sustain our immune system. So, health also, we should have holistic view. And then society, world peace, peaceful family, peaceful sort of community, we must look at holistically, isn't it? Like that. New question?
Yes.
Yes. Hold Yes.
My name is Satish. What is your destiny and how far is the distance and what we have to learn to reach you?
My destination. Destination.
There are three questions.
I am Buddhist. So final destination is Buddhahood. There's no question. My daily prayer, daily practice, meditation, about 4 to 5 hours, meant for that. And then my daily life, daily way of thinking, way of life, should be according to that destination. So that's any sort of believer do like that. Then immediate sort of destination. As a Buddhist practitioner, my body, speech, and mind dedicate well-being of other. There is one prayer wrote by Nagarjuna. You should consider like that, like earth, air, water, and fire or energy. These elements belong to all sentient beings. So you should consider like that. So that means my body, my speech, my mind dedicate for well-being of others. So that's immense benefit to maintain peace of mind. Really, very, very helpful. Now, as my age, now nearly 75, it seems, you see, although it's sometimes very busy day, but then the late afternoon, it's not much feeling of tiredness because I feel some purposeful day, right? Purposeful life, some benefit to some people. So then feel satisfaction. That day's life at least made some fulfill some purpose, right? Like that. So that very helpful to reduce tiredness. Like that. So about 2 years ago, I went through surgery. What's it, a gallbladder? Because some stones there and create a lot of trouble. So finally, carried surgery. Oh, one sort of, what's it, one might sort of joke. Since then, I always carry one joke. When I talk, sort of audience, big audience, you see, among the audience, some people may have, you see, the feeling Dharma have some kind of miracle power. And then some people may even feel Dharma have healing power. And for that, since then, scientifically prove Dharma have no healing power. Is it true? Isn't it? Is it true? So like that. So at that time, you see the surgery, at that time, my doctor, specialist, described me as a young patient. And I told him, at that time, my age now already 73. So I told him, I'm not a young patient, I'm quite old. And he mentioned, he knows my age, but your body element looks like in 60. So he described me as a young patient. So this is nothing special for me. Of course, my daily routine, I think, ordinary way, like that. But then, I think, my mental state, quite peaceful. So when that surgery happened, I think about a week or 6 days in the hospital, Gangaram Hospital. So there, the doctors, nurses, they, first day, second day, third day, they all become close friends. Everyone is really, because of that, feel happy, happy atmosphere. Like that. So I think, hopefully, my mental state, quite peaceful mental state. Whether that benefit to other or not, it is immense benefit to myself, like that. So that's the destination. And then daily, because of that, daily destination where? No. I think 24 hours is one destination, is good sleep. I heard in America, many people facing some problem about because of sleep, isn't it? I heard. When I mention about my sleep, then they say, "Oh, how good!" How good, sir? How lucky? They express how lucky because it's my daily life. About 6:30, 7:30, then go to sleep till 3:30. So sometimes 8 hours, sometimes 9 hours sleep. Very sound sleep. I think never disturbed, right? So that also is my one destination in daily life. Next question. So here. Yes.
Your Holiness, you spoke about finding inner peace. You look around the room, and I guess in some ways many of us are overachievers. And you mentioned that we are unhappy inside. My issue stems from, as a father, how do I distill the messages that my children are constantly bombarded with, much more than what we got when we grew up, and keep them grounded in reality and help them be good human beings? How do we counsel our children as parents on a daily basis? How do we work with them?
You're from India?
Yes, I am.
Oh. Indian I always is telling my Indian friend, the combination, modern education and modern technology, and India's 1,000-year-old traditional value, spiritual value, this must come together. Then you can maintain peace of mind. And relations, through that way, relations, parent, children, and brothers, sisters, more human way. Because sometimes, some modern society, isn't it? The relation between parent and children, up to some age, is a close relations. But then afterward, is the children settle, then very little contact. Sometimes is the forget, like that. So now here, as a result of meeting or seminar about the unrest among the youth, or violence among the youth, or problem among the youth, quite a number of occasions I participated. I remember one very clearly, I think in San Francisco. The participants were some psychologists, some social workers, some doctors, I think some scientists, not a religious person. I think me alone maybe. So there, finally, I think 2 or 3 days we discussed, and finally, all unanimously agree. One of the main causes of today's problem among the youth is lack of affection in the family, in the community. I think just a few days ago, I was in Zurich. This is some discussion with some scientist, some economist. It's a discussion about the reasons of crisis about the global economy, whether there is some connection with the mental emotions. So these scientists about economy, and bankers, they raise question whether there is some rule in the economy field, whether there is also the rule of the altruism, whether some rule in the modern economy system. Then finally, all discussions, all experts they are, through their own experience, their own analyze, all agree, even in economy field, the altruistic attitude is very much relevant. So there I told, it is quite understandable in modern society, particularly in the West, or in the materialized society, much advanced materialistic society, the concept of compassion, these are altruism, these are sometimes people feel irrelevant. Of course, to religious people, love, compassion, forgiveness, these are relevant. But society as a whole, a normal way, not much relevant, that kind of attitude. So there I told, it's understandable, I feel. 1,000 years, you see, the religion remain very important element in society. Then about last, I think about 2 centuries, the science and then the technology. See, with the help of science and technology now brings immediately positive result. So through prayer will not bring immediately, isn't it? Just hopeful. I pray to God, and some good things may come future. No guarantee. But technology, 100% guarantee. If you do this, yes, the next year or next month you get this benefit. So therefore, people, all our interest, all our energy put on technology, science. So the interest about religion, about inner values, a little bit neglected. Now, since later part of 20th century, and now beginning of 21st century, now people, including scientists, or scientists, particularly medical scientists and social scientists, and many fields, now they begin to realize, and also those billionaires, they also realize the value of material thing. There's limitation. With money, you can buy good house, good facility, and you can visit different countries as a holiday event, like that. But for inner peace is concerned, money failed to bring inner peace, bring some satisfaction for temporarily, but cannot bring permanent, lasting mental peace. So therefore, now people begin to pay more attention about our basic human values. So then interest about about compassion, altruism, these things. Also, there is one element. You see, people sometimes, you see, consider, for example, many years ago, one time in then East Germany, West Germany there, one time in West Germany, one minister, you see, some gathering, some meeting, one German minister, you see, we just touch about the moral ethics. Then he told me, moral ethics must be based on religious faith. I didn't sort of respond. Okay. Now, even later, I asked the late Pope John Paul Murray. Now, I asked, the moral ethics must be based on religious faith or not? And he didn't answer. Of course, I love him, I respect him. Great sort of spiritual leader. There's no question. But his lieutenant, one cardinal, then responded, oh, moral authority, moral ethics must be based on religious faith. If I ask further question, what religion? Then his answer quite sure, Catholic. So, of course, that's right. For practitioner of Catholicism, or practitioner of Buddhism, practitioner of Hinduism, yes, I think they feel the real sort of that has a basis of moral ethics is one's own religion, like that. So that's the problem, I feel. So when we talk about these moral ethics, then people consider love, compassion, forgiveness. These are spiritual things. It's related with religion. So I have now say, this is one person may say, oh, I'm non-believer. I have no interest about religion at all. So you see, these matters also, you see, no need to pay attention about these things. These are religious matter. Clear. Yeah, I think that's wrong. Firstly, there must be the moral ethics based on just our common sense, not on religion. So I always describe promotion of moral ethics. There are three ways, should be three ways. Number one, theistic way, believe God, or Brahma, or Shivaji, like that. Believe that, or Allah. And through that way, one way promote compassion or these moral ethics. Then second, non-theistic, like Jainism and Buddhism. No concept of God, creator, but law of causality. If you harm other, you get negative consequences. If you help other, you get positive consequences. That's the law of causality. That's one way. Now there should be third one. That's secular way, without touching religion. Simply using our common sense, our common experience, and then latest scientific finding. That's the basis of promotion of inner values. As I already mentioned, you see, inner peace, more compassionate. For inner peace, you have more compassionate attitude here, sense of concern of well-being of other. Then there is no room of harming other. There is no room of cheating other. Because you always deliberately, you see, deliberately, so what's the concern about well-being of other. Clear. So through that way, you can carry your daily life open, transparent, truthful, honest. If deep inside, self-centered attitude, and through that way, little suspect, little sort of distrust, and you doing something little different, then you cannot be honest, truthful. That brings fear. That destroys inner peace. And human being, as a social animal, in order to build the good cooperation or good community, friendship is very essential. In order to develop friendship, trust is the basis. With full of suspicion, how can develop friendship? Trust is basis. In order to bring trust, transparent, truthful, honest, these are major factors to bring trust. So these are logical sort of approach without touching religion. No matter whether there's next life or not, whether there's God or not, doesn't matter. So long we are here as a social animal. Particularly now this moment, the global economy heavily interdependent. Whether European or Australian economy much depend on Chinese market, isn't it? Like that. And like that, you see, every continent, you see, the economic development much depend on rest of the world. They cannot sort of manage on. They cannot sort of further develop within your own area. So that's the today's reality. Then most important environment issue. No matter how powerful one single nation, you cannot change the weather condition unless whole world work together. I think Copenhagen summit, I think the cause of failure is different nations or important nations. Their top priority is their own nation's interest, and that also short term. And global issue secondary. That's the problem. I often is telling people from China, most populated nation, very important nation, but still part of the world. So the Chinese leaders, whether they like it or not, they have to follow the world trend, isn't it? Openness, transparency, free information. These are whole world now that trend, isn't it? So like that. So therefore, now I think your answer, the answer for your question, the I think parents, as they must provide maximum affection to your children. And then meantime, I think you should tell your children the importance of loving kindness or altruism, these things. I think there are many sort of also the selfless Indian. In Zurich, in our sort of scientific meeting, one Indian, I can't remember his name. Actually, one Indian, highly educated, but then, you see, he told his own sort of story. One time in a famine in Bihar, then Japrakash Narayan is called Indian youth, come to help. And he, one of them. And he joined that sort of team, that group, and he surprised the village. In village, their conditions so poor, so difficult. Then he decided, in spite sort of his sort of the possibility to join some sort of some work with high salary, he sacrificed that. Then he went to the backward sort of village, and then then after eventually he set up the called Barefoot College in Rajasthan. You see, there the villager, the illiterate, but he developed such a sort of method through sign language and some training. Number of villager mother and grandmother, now they become great technician and producing solar energy sort of lamp or like that, light. So their whole village, each family now light. And they also can sell. So such work, I think, is really marvelous. So in any way, you see, there are such wonderful Indians who really dedicate the well-being of others. So tell your children these wonderful stories. And then, look, Mother Teresa. Yesterday, I went to Delhi for lecture on Mother Teresa's lecture on Mother Teresa in Delhi, Indian Religious University, something like that. So these are examples. If you dedicate well-being of others out of altruism, your own benefit, more cherishing others' well-being, you get maximum award. Not in material sense, but in deep insight, deep satisfaction. And people, of course, appreciate. So I think the proper way. And then also, now, since Indira Gandhi ji, Prime Minister, one time I raised question whether Indian existing education system, whether really suitable this country or not. Existing education system introduced by British. Of course, wonderful. Now practically in India, English, I think, something almost like the common language in South Indian, North Indian, East Indian, West Indian, isn't it? Hindi, not common. Now I think it's a little better. Otherwise, it's difficult, isn't it? So the English English medium, I think really immense help to Indian nation. China, now they're really catching up. Otherwise, they're backward in that respect. And when I was China, 1954, 55, they always say Russians are most important language. Now that interest, that thinking no longer there. So the British really brought immense benefit to India. However, the system, questionable. So at that time, Indira Gandhi also agreed that. So she eventually, she told me she want to organize few Delhi professors of some universities to discuss about these matter. Then soon she killed. Like that. So nowadays, in America, in Canada, and also Europe, now serious discussion among scholars. Now modern education system not sufficient to pay attention about moral ethics. Modern education only concerned about brain development, knowledge, intelligence, right? Intelligence. Not much pay attention about warm-heartedness. So therefore, there are some kind of movement. You see, how to introduce ethics education in modern school, in modern education. So they are talking, some people, you see, carrying some research work. I think India also need, so that's of course the national level, and also in some extent global level. So eventually, we are very much hoping, you see, eventually some news or what's the subject in modern school, from kindergarten up to university, about moral ethics education. That should be secularly. If touch religion, then what religion? Then complications there. So the only choice is without touching religion. India's constitution itself is based on secularism, because of India's reality like that. So therefore, hopefully now eventually, because of that, find some in education system, some class for ethics. Then I think we'll change some benefit. You see, till that come, when come, I don't know. Maybe after 1 decade or 2 decades, or after my life, I don't know. We're just hoping. So you must pay more attention about these inner value for your children. That's important. Then you must example in the eyes of your children, you and your wife was relation. Occasionally some fight. That's bound to happen. But human way are not very negative, very ill feeling, not that way. Show the child's mind the harmony, friendship, love. This I think important. And with example yourself in the eyes of your children, then explain the value of these things. Like that. And then some books, I think about moral ethics. Let them study, read at least. I think that's the only way. Otherwise, I don't know. I'm not an expert. No, thank you. Too long. Thank you. I really enjoy our meeting.